Lee Han is an independent writer and director based in Los Angeles, California, known for his award-winning short films and featured directorial debut that sheds light on the struggles of LGBTQ sex workers in Hollywood, inspired by Italian neorealism and the French New Wave, shot entirely on one iPhone with non-professional actors for authenticity. And Lee Han is with us here. How are you today?
I'm good, man. Just woke up, just had my coffee, and been waiting.
Excellent. So, what was the inspiration behind this film? How did it evolve into the narrative that we see on screen?
I want to tell a story about the nature of man using one item only, and that's how I come up with the chess ball. Because that's the game that we've been playing for like thousands of years, and it somehow reflect the nature of people, throughout the generations.
And you shot the film entirely by yourself on an iPhone. So, why did you decide to go for that approach?
In some way, I like to show the filmmaker, especially the student, the young filmmakers around the world and in the United States, that with the iPhone now, you don't need an entire crew. You actually don't need anyone. You can just go out and make a movie by yourself, just you and your visions. Of course, your actor as well. But as for crew, you don't need. It's great if you have someone, but sometimes having a wrong crew can be, can be hindering to you. So sometimes just one person work best.
And were there any challenges that you encountered when you were filming with an iPhone, or did it actually make it much easier than using a complex piece of equipment?
I would say it's make it way easier because sometimes we have to film in a very like tight space, like very dark space, and sometimes we have to film where we don't have the permissions to film. Like I remember one time in the movie John, me and the actor we have to sneak in a porn theater in LA, and it's very 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 shady porn theater. This is where the drug dealer sneak in to watch porn and exchanging drug and money right in front of us. So there's no way for me to, bring in an entire camera crew with lighting and everything. Just me and my actor and my iPhone. And we got it in the film and it's looked great. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite shots.
And it gives it that kind of authentic feel, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it feels more like a documentary rather than fictions.
Casting as well has played a role in bringing authenticity to the film. So, what was the process of selecting actors?
Well, for the movie John, it's about male prostitute in East Hollywood, LA. So I did meet a lot of real guys. Some of them are trans. I talked to them on the phone. I met them in person. A lot of them don't want to talk about their job because they're ashamed of it. But some do. Some are willing to share that information. So I got all that. I wrote down, and then when I cast, it's kind of difficult. So I end up doing casting 1 to 3 of the real people that actually do that job in real life for the sake of authenticity. Not the main guy though, not the guy who played the John main character. He's an actor. But it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It's definitely long because the casting is tricky. They say that 99% of directing is casting, so it's
Yeah.
definitely tricky.
And was it quite difficult because you cast non-professional actors? So was
Oh yeah,
it
oh yeah.
difficult to know whether they were going to be
It
good?
is, it is difficult, but I like it because I explained to them. I said that you don't have to be good. I don't need you to be good. I need you to be authentic. I need you to be real. I need to give out that performance. And sometimes it takes a long time to get there, but I enjoy it, man. I enjoy the process very much. I enjoy guiding the young actors, and they're excited. They're very excited when they hit the mark, and then I show them the result, and we just like happy kids when we see that. So yeah, it's all worked out.
How did you encourage them to be authentic? Because it's maybe one of those things that's easier said than done.
Sure, sure. One of the trick I do is I ask them to. Well, we hang out a lot. I make friends with my actors. I make sure that I took them out to dinner, to lunch, to coffee. We hang out all the time, and we talk about stuff. Not about movie, but we talk about life. The point is, I'm trying to get to know them, and I'm trying to get them to know me, so they trust me. And I encourage them to share their personal life information with me. So sometimes I use those information I write down in their character dialogues. So in some way, they are up becoming the character as time move on. And we shoot this film for like a couple months, so they have time. They have time to get in character. They have time to use that because when it happened to like young actor, they don't have that much acting experience for sure. They don't have that much life experience. But when you combine the two, sometimes they give out a very powerful performance that trained actor could not give you because this is real.
Given the intimate subject matter of the film, how did you approach the researching process to ensure the accurate portrayal of these sex workers?
Sure. Well, I talked to a bunch of them. I did some work online, but there's only so far. There's only so much you can read online about male prostitute. Doesn't matter where you are. You have to talk to real people. You have to engage them. You have to know, what's they about. They are people. They're regular people, a regular job. They don't like it that much, but there's a lot of shade in the job too. So I make sure I talk to them. I work it all out, all the detailed information, and I just portray the job. It's not glamorous. The film is not glamorous at all. It's very. The people say it's very down. It's very greedy. It's very dirty. It's very cynical. And that's my point of view about the job, about East Hollywood in general.
What message or emotions do you hope viewers will take away from the film?
Well, what message is I'm just trying to present my version of the truth, and everybody have a different point of view. Actually, the movie is doing very well in Europe, in UK, in France, in Belgium, in Europe in general, very, very well. Not so much in the US, especially not so well in Los Angeles, because the way I portray the city is not flattering at all. There's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of mental ill people, and it's true. A lot of young people now engage in prostitution to support themselves because the rent is so high. It's a very ugly truth that I think people living in LA are not comfortable looking at because that's what they see every day. They don't want to be reminded. Oh yeah, it's a very funny that you said that. Yeah, but
yeah.
So people are gonna see it, and people are gonna have their point of view. So I have no control over that.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, it's doing quite well in Europe and the UK, and it's also got significant recognition, such as being nominated as a finalist in 9 festivals. So what are some of the highlights and experiences that you've had from the festival circuit?
Well, I've been to a couple of them. They asked me to come to Sydney because it's one of the finalists in Sydney Film Festival too. In India, there's a lot of India for some reason love this movie. I've never been to India. I would love to someday, but I expect India to be a little bit more conservative concerning the subject matter. But no, they're very supportive. The student they show in university, they love it. I was amazed. But yeah, that's the best part, man. When I talk to the student in the university in India about filmmaking, they love the fact that I can make this film all by myself using just one iPhone, shoot it, cast it, editing, or I edit on my personal computer. But everything is done by myself, and it's done with a very low budget as well. I'm sharing with you. The budget is like the cost of an iPhone, so it's like $1,200, the total cost.
Now, draws inspiration from Italian neorealism and the French New Wave. So how did these cinematic movements influence your storytelling and visual style?
Well, the movie John, I always like Italian neorealisms and the French New Wave because they did exactly what I'm trying to do. They're using non-actors as principal actor. They're using real location. They're using real lighting, and very, very low budget, extremely low budget for the time. And they did not let those block their creativity. Instead, they allow those difficulty turn the movie into some of the most memorable film that we've seen, and it's very inspiring, man. And they almost all of them are social commentary films. So that's my goal. I was trying to make a social commentary film in LA using those methods. And to be honest, the cameras on my iPhone is way better than the camera they had back in the day in the 1940s. So I feel like I'm pretty privileged to do that.
We mentioned at the start that you filmed this all on an iPhone, and it's all non-professional actors. So without being too nosy here, how much did this cost you? Did you have quite a low budget that you were able to use views?
Very low, because I want to keep it low. We couldn't have got more funding from the production company. Actually, one of my producer, he produced a movie that won big directors in Sundance last year. His name is Joseph Hill, and he's one of my producer. We could have got more funding, but I told him that I want to keep this as low as I can. I pay all my actor, but by the hour only. I pay them like 18 to like $25 plus gas and plus food. I always take them to the nicest restaurant whenever possible. So, but yeah, well, they all very happy. And besides the principal actor, I signed a contract to say that if I end up selling the film, I share with them the percentage. So they're all very happy and they all contribute their best work. That's how I keep my budget low. Again, this is like $1,200 to make a feature film. That's like unheard of because
Yeah.
the people my age, like student filmmaker student, they spend like $100,000 for a short film. I don't know how they do it, man. But they maximize out their credit card and they
Yeah.
do it, and they got themselves into serious debt. And I'll say, that's not the way to do it, because as long as you plan it right, it's possible. It's possible. If people want to go see my movie, they can go on Film Freeway. They look it up my movie, and they
Yeah.
see there's a lot of production value for $1,000. That's like peanut money. You can do it. Yeah.
And do you think that the low budget comes across when you're watching it, or would you believe that it's got a high budget and works very well?
A lot of people were shocked when they realized that the entire movie was shot by just one iPhone. They had
Yeah.
no idea. They thought this is like a high because I'm using a very advanced the program. The software is called DaVinci color grading movies. So the movie absolutely looked like a real movie, like a real camera, not even a digital camera, but like with real film. Some people are very surprised, and you actually the first one that I'm sharing the budget with. So nobody really know what's the budget about, and they all expecting, they all guessing, but nobody think that the budget would be that low. And it look, I'll be honest, it look way better than most of the digital film that my fellow director put up online, because you don't want that digital look, right? You don't want that iPhone look. It looked too much like a video. It looked too much like a YouTube video, and I want it to look like real film.
Yeah. Well, what are you working on after this film? Is there more coming up?
Sure, but I always take a big break after like a big project, because it's pretty exhausting. Although I got a lot of help from my producer friend. His name is Sifu, and he's very good at casting and directing. So he helped me a lot in terms of casting and judging the actors. So he's been very helpful. But after a big project, I always take a break by traveling. So right now, as we're talking, I'm traveling on the road in the East Coast and the Midwest of the United States, and collecting material for my next projects. I'm writing about the Native American people in the Indian reservations.
Oh, nice.
So I think that'll be my next project. Yeah, it's definitely going to be controversial too, but I think that's my type now.
Yeah. Well, where are we able to find this film that we're talking about today?
The movie John, well, publicly is not out yet. They still have like 57 festivals to go. But if you people want to look it up, there's a couple of articles written about it. You can go on Film Freeway and you can look for the movie titled John, just John, John, and you might find it up there, because it's out in the public. It's not like private.
Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great to have you here on the show.
Cool, man. Good talking to you too. Thank you for having me.